I'm 37, a pretty successful businessman, and Vanessa and I have been together since high school. We first met back in 10th grade and I married her as soon as she turned 19. She's 2 years younger than me. 4 years, my work kept me traveling abroad constantly. I even have multiple passports to make those international moves easier. Vanessa used to join me on every business trip, but that changed when she decided she wanted to work again. At first, I wasn't thrilled. I'd grown used to having her by my side during those trips, but she was tired of being stuck at home, doing chores day after day, feeling invisible. As a supportive husband, I couldn't say no. She wanted to grow, to feel needed beyond just our home. I adjusted my schedule, cutting down the length and frequency of my trips. Usually, I'd leave without a second thought, despite Vanessa's quiet complaints about not getting enough of my time. This time, though, I was supposed to return on the 31st, but since her birthday had just passed, I wanted to surprise her early. I hustled hard to wrap up meetings ahead of schedule and flew home. I had it all planned out. I'd crash at a friend's place so she wouldn't suspect a thing. Before seeing her, I picked up her birthday gift, a brand new Mercedes I'd already paid for and a massive bouquet of flowers. I parked near her workplace, heart racing, imagining the joy on her face when she saw me show up early with such an extravagant surprise. Then she came out of the building. But before I could jump out and shout, "Surprise!" I saw another man approach her with flowers in his hands. The way they greeted each other, it stopped me cold. She threw herself into his arms, kissed him deeply, and they practically ran into a taxi together. I followed, struggling to believe what I was seeing. Maybe it was an old friend, I told myself, trying to grasp at any innocent explanation. But when they got out of the cab not far away and went straight into a hotel, the truth slammed into me. A strange, numb calm settled over me. I needed to know what was happening inside, but I didn't want to cause a scene. I noticed a security guard taking a smoke break nearby and slipped him a generous tip to get a master key, the kind maids use, warning him I'd be on my own if things went south. 15 minutes later, I had the key and the room number. Taking a deep breath, I went up, unlocked the door, and there they were, Vanessa and the other man tangled up in bed, completely oblivious to the world. They froze when I spoke, my voice dripping with sarcasm. "Hey, mind if I join you?" Vanessa's face turned to horror, mouth agape, while the guy lunged at me, fists clenched, but I kicked him away before he could get close. He backed off quickly, sitting down on the bed's edge, defeated. Vanessa started babbling about how it wasn't what it looked like, how I was imagining things. I wasn't having it. I grabbed her by the hair and dragged her to the mirror. There she was, disheveled, half-naked, underwear around her knees. I looked her straight in the eyes and said, "So, tell me, which part am I getting wrong? Explain this." She dropped to her knees, sobbing, begging for forgiveness, swearing it was a one-time mistake, blaming it all on my constant travel. But I didn't have the energy to argue or listen anymore. I just walked out. I called her mother, now my ex-mother-in-law, gave her the short version of what happened, not looking for sympathy, just asking her to come pick up Vanessa's things that very day because I was done. I changed the locks on our home immediately, then went to the dealership and canceled the Mercedes purchase. It didn't make me feel better, but it was the right move. Vanessa's parents never showed up, probably expecting her to clean up her own mess. Eventually she came by, sitting on my doorstep, sobbing so hard the neighbors probably heard everything. I tried to stay calm, even thought about calling the police to remove her, but something inside me stopped me. I let her in. At first, she just cried and begged for forgiveness, promising I was the love of her life and that she'd do anything to make it right. Then, maybe out of desperation, she tried to seduce me. By that time, I'd already finished nearly a whole bottle of whiskey, and to be honest, a part of me still cared. After so many years together, I caved. That night was raw, angry passion. No sweetness, no romance, just a storm of emotion and frustration. At dawn, she fell asleep and I stepped outside for a smoke. It hit me then, this was over. The woman in my bed wasn't the wife I married. How long had this been going on? That guy had flowers for her, she clearly knew him. I went back inside, packed all her stuff because I knew she'd either never leave or drag it out forever. I placed her luggage by the door, called a taxi, and woke her up. I told her it was time to go. She protested, but I said I had a flight to catch. Only half of that was true. I needed her gone. She had no choice but to leave. Now, I'm heading out myself, dreading the moment I have to return, whether for work or to handle whatever's left behind. It hurts, remembering how happy we once were. I could forgive her for the years we shared, but I know myself well enough to realize I'll never truly forget this betrayal. Trust? That's gone. And I have no interest in wearing those metaphorical horns. That's how my marriage ended. Vanessa, my once beloved wife, is out of my life and honestly I don't want to come back.